Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got one car on the bottom of the 10 cars.
Hello race fans and welcome to Martinsville Speedway live here on ETV powered by the HD Radio Network. Tonight, 200 laps around the paperclip again, Martinsville Speedway. Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing for the 2nd year in a row. The 2013 series is underway, Dakota. And mentioning Dakota Ehrman working with me in the booth tonight, down on pit road will be Joshua Harbinson, and our statistician, as good as always, George Wood down there helping us out. And, of course, John Wessling with the cameras that you see tonight here on ETV. Dakota, welcome to Martinsville.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Martinsville, really, the paperclip, as you call it, really tricky. You've really got to hit the line here, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see all the different breaking points here tonight. And everybody maybe running over each other, or not so much running over each other. It's really going to be interesting to see whether these guys can, stay off each other tonight.
Now let's take you back to Kentucky 2 weeks ago, where we were live on ETV. One of the best races in real sim racing history, Dakota, if you ask me. Chad Cole would bring home the checkered flag and lead only 1 lap. And guess which one it was? The most important one, the pass right at the start-finish line to Dwayne Vincent, who would lead 75 laps and finish 2nd. Vincent pretty much dominated that race, Dakota, hands down, but at the last second, again, Chad Cole pulling out the victory. And then Justin Wilson, part of that Burnett Motorsports, finishing 3rd. C.J. Lavere, also teammate to Mr. Wilson, finished 4th. And David Lanza, who would be teammates with Mr. Cole, part of Team Man-Child Racing, would put his Chevrolet home in 5th.
Coming home in the 6th position, Jonathan Candelo, after starting 16th in the number 11 machine. He wasn't able to lead any laps. Jay Horton brought it home in the 7th position and after starting from 23rd. Mark Bratcher came home 8th. Good run for him in the 24 machine after starting 22nd. Rich Jett came home 9th with the Strucker Aces. He actually only led 1 lap, but started 31st. And then you had Mike Skinner coming home in the 10th position in the 31 machine after starting 21st.
So that takes us to tonight's race at Martinsville Speedway. Coming into tonight's race, the top 10 in the points. Dwayne Vincent, the man in position, 40 points ahead of Mr. Cole, who's 2nd. But I tell you, Vincent is so impressive early this season with an average start of 3rd and an average finish, Dakota, of nearly 5th spot. With 3 wins, he's cranking them up. Guy Snyder sits 3rd, just 9 back from Chad Cole, 49 back from Vincent. And Mr. Jett, Rich Jett, sits 4th in the points. And then John Abbott rounding out the top 5.
Caleb Redback sitting 6th in the 76 points out of the lead. C.J. Lavere 7th with 6 starts and 2 poles. Glenn Campbell sitting 8th, 78 points out. He's actually tied with C.J. Lavere and 2 points behind Caleb Redback. Doug Ross sitting 9th. He's a total of 82 points out of the lead. And Justin Wilson running out the top 10.
And now we move to the countdown to green, where the drivers continue to make their qualifying runs here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. 31 so far on the board, and a total of 41 drivers here tonight so far. Maybe 2 or 1 more guy will come in here late, Dakota, with a late qualifying run. But so far, Ben Burnett, the quickest on the board. And again, Martinsville Speedway, I tell you what, track that's been around for quite some time. Dakota, 1947. We saw the Asphalt Assault Series here last week. Good run that they had. Remember the banking that we talked about? The turns 12 degrees, just a slight. You'll see that car tilt up just a little bit going through the turns here, but on the straightaways, they'll be flat as they can be. 0-degree banking on the straights. And don't forget, ironically enough, the trophy that they can take home tonight, the grandfather clock, again, from the local furniture store that has been awarded to the winner since 1964. They talked about that on Sunday. And I tell you, someone's going to come home with a clock tonight, Dakota.
And some of the guys that could come on with that clock would be some of the comers here tonight. Some of those would be actually, one of them is Rich Jett. Has had 8th and 9th place finishers in the last 2 weeks. He's kind of got the momentum rolling in his favor with 2 top 10s in a row. Going to watch Rich Jett maybe strike and come home with a top 5 for a win tonight. Justin Wilson, another one of those guys who has a 6th and 3rd place finish in the last 2 weeks. He's really come alive, and he's only 10th in the points. He's looking to make up some ground there.
And then, of course, you got the goers. R.J. Williams has had a 41st and a 42nd place finish in the last 2 starts. Dakota, remember we talked to him at the beginning of the season and what it would be like to put that 75 machine back in championship victory lane where Landon Huffman took it last year, and the Bob Earl Racing cockpit seat was awarded to him. But so far, Mr. Williams having tough luck this year, and so is Joseph Hayes. He hasn't had a top 20 since Vegas. Here we are at Martinsville, 6 races into the season. He's got to turn his luck around.
That he does. Let's keep our eye on Joseph Hayes. He's just got to get that momentum rolling in his favor, and then I think the finishes will come. But tell you what, the professor's picks here tonight, Martinsville is about being out front, staying out front, and keeping the nose clean. The track is bound to get congested under at least 1 caution, and with the accordion effect in the turns, there will be no doubt a big one.
And, of course, real quick, the top 10, as we mentioned in the pre-race there with the standings, we're going to go ahead and let you know where they finished last year at Martinsville, Dakota. Dwayne Vincent would finish 13th, 10 laps down. Cole finished 26th. Guy Snyder finished 12th. Rich Jett did not compete in the race. John Abbott would finish 5th, started 5th, and he was the only driver other than Parker Kligerman who led 197. Abbott would lead just 3 laps. Kel Drasback finished 6th, C.J. Levere 20th, Glenn Campbell 7th, Doug Roth 11th, and Justin Wilson finished 18th. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and step away for the national anthem, and when we return, Martinsville Speedway in the lineup with ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back to ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. You're about to watch Marshall Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Now let's go downstairs for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And now your starting lineup. The number 1 row, Ben Burnett on the pole tonight. Outside him in the 5, John Hanna Jr.
Making up row number 2, the short track phenomenon, Chris Cable, and then Mike Skinner on his outside.
Row number 3 will be the 33 of David Lanza, and then 6 will be Mike King.
Row number 4 will consist of John Abbott and Chad Cole.
Row number 5 will be the 44 of Glenn Campbell, to his outside, the freakin' Jose Gonzalez.
How about row number 6, made up of the 13 of Dwayne Vincent and the 94 machine of Eric Brundys.
Row 7 will be Ronnie Pitts and the 15 of Rhett McBride.
Row number 8 will be made up of Bobby Wetzel and Mike Montesi.
Row 9, 17th fastest, Mark Bratcher. 18th fastest, Bobby Terrell.
Row 10 will be Steve Gottschalk and Cale Dresbach.
Row number 11 will be Guy Snyder, your place in points man. To his outside, the 11 of Jonathan Cadell.
Row number 12, Nathan Bowers and CJ Lovair.
Row 13's Doug Roth and then Jimmy North.
About row number 14 being Ed Williams Jr. and Matt Hoffman in the 40 machine.
Row 15, who's pumped up for this race, I saw him on Facebook talking about it. Joey Gattina, watch from him tonight. Justin Wilson starts 30th.
Making up the next row, which will be row 16, will be Adam Robertson, Rich Jett.
Row 17 will be the 21 of Matt Lacrosse, to his outside right, the White Wolf Jr. machine.
Row 18, Joseph Hayes and Keith Brooks Jr.
Row number 19, the Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold. Outside his right, the 38 of Nathan Little.
Row number 20 will be Douglas Wyatt and Wyatt Wolf.
And finally, row number 21 will be Stephen Herring in the 41st position. 41 drivers here tonight, Dakota Martinsville Speedway, just over half of a mile racetrack, one that they call the paperclip. We're going to get to the calamity corners here after we go green as the pace car dips down low. And the man who takes this green for the first time tonight will be the 37 of Ben Burnett. And boy, does that car look sharp with the ETV logo on the front of it.
Yeah, these guys had to wait just quite a while for after the pace car dives before they take the green flag, and they got to get to the corner first. But the green flag is out. Ben Burnett is away, and it looks like Chris Cable, I want to say it was Cable, that fell back and has now put the, I want to say that's the 5 car of John Hanna Jr. on his bumper, and Chris Cable has fallen back to 3rd. Looks like he had fallen back a little bit further than that on the restart. Got it going. It is all right now.
Half of the field is through 3. Now make it 4. Through the front stretch into turn 1. Still green flag racing for the first lap of the race tonight, Dakota. These guys are getting it done again. This is the premier series of the Real Sim Racing. It's the Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing, where these guys are fighting for the cockpit, and now they're going to jam them up in turn 3, Dakota, for about 23rd position. Now they're wrecking the 4 car in the front stretch. 21st spot's going to be CJ Lovair. I saw him jam it up in turn 4. And then the caution, Dakota.
Yeah, I wonder what was going on there. It looks like in front of them the 11 had been too wide, and they were almost through wide at one point. And it looks like Lovair just, big stack up on the inside, and Lovair comes off the corner, and the 11 of Jonathan Cadell just comes down the corner like he thought he was clear, had more room, and ends up turning the 4 around. But that was a big stack up on the bottom that we actually caused that initial incident there.
This will be a great time to go over the corners here at Martinsville, where we've just seen caution number 1 as the crew begins cleanup. Martinsville is an extremely resistance to change, Dakota, which is a good thing considering the history of the track. However, what has not changed are the inside curves of each corner that hold a razor-thin strip of grass. And, buddy, we just seen a little bit of that in turn 4 there. Even though these curves are painted yellow, Dakota, don't let it throw you off. They are often tempting for the driver to get as close as possible in order for them to defend the position or run down the next car just ahead of them.
There's also havoc in how a driver drives a short track with slow-speed corners. There are 2 ways to go fast in Martinsville. Brake hot and hard into the corner and count on the car to rotate in the center, or generally gradual braking with a high arc and the lower exit. Both techniques work, but passing here is purely dictated by how quickly a driver can decipher another driver's braking style.
And talking about that, you know, just as that says, a driver can decipher another's driving and braking style. That's going to be the key here. And again, Dakota, Joshua Harbinson on pit road for us tonight, going to be very busy. Josh, let's talk about braking here tonight. Let's talk about brake bias. These drivers using all kinds of different brake bias here tonight to get those cars brake down into the turns.
Yeah, everybody has their own different style, their own different brake points, and their own different, and nobody pushes the brake the same. They all have it dialed exactly how they like it to get in. But the one thing that they have complained about the most is locking up the left front trying to get into the corner, and that's going to push them up the track. So watch for that, for one, with the brake bias.
Now let's talk about tires, Josh. Last week at Martinsville, and under the Asphalt Assault Series, we saw that the right side tires wasn't that big of a deal, neither were the left sides, but they can be just as equal as we go down the backstretch here pacing. But how important are tires here at Martinsville in these Gen 6 cars?
No, they're just as important as I guess any other car, but mostly on this car and this track tonight, the biggest problem is the right rear, not the right front like we normally see. That's the biggest. That's where the most wear is coming out of the tires when they take them off.
And Dakota, right rear and the back wheels, I guess you could call it, like Josh said, coming off the corners, these cars can just spin down the backstretch if there's no traction.
You talk about spinning the tires down the backstretch. It was Chris Cable was doing that when he was on the inside of the 5 of John Henn Jr., but he's able to sneak away. He was sideways, still got around the 5 machine. Now the 05 machine is in second position and setting his sights on the 37 of Ben Burnett for the lead.
And taking a look at Ben Burnett, he's already got 3 cars in front of him, Dakota, and one being Joey Gattina, who was tied up in that wreck earlier. Tell you what, he was so excited about coming to tonight's event at Martinsville on Facebook, Dakota, and here he is sitting 41st position, not the spot that he wanted to be in. And here comes Burnett to put him 1 lap down. Also ahead, there's Joseph Hayes and Jonathan Cadell.
And Cadell was also involved in an incident, I believe. I want to say Hayes might have been also. So both the drivers might have just. It takes a long time to get down pit road here. 35-mile-per-hour pit speed. So I mean, if these guys come down pit road for tires or anything, try to get the damage fixed on the cars, they'll likely go a lap down and come close. And I think we're seeing that here as these guys have been caught by the leader already, because I think they got off pit road a little late.
One thing, too, I want to point out the man who sits first in points started tonight's adventure in 11th position. Dwayne Vincent still running in the 11th position. The man who sits second, Chad Cole, Dakota, currently running 7th. Mr. Cole started 8th, so up 1 position for him. And old John Abbott, too. Take a look at him. Abbott in the 10th spot, losing a couple positions as the race started to take some green flags under its belt here.
Yeah, and I like what I'm seeing. Oh, it looks like the second place car. It was Chris Cable got a little sideways going to the corner. Or not Chris Cable, but yeah, it was Chris Cable. Got a little sideways going to the corner. But I like what I'm seeing from Ben Burnett. You watch this car go around the corners. He's going into the corner low. He'll just about get to the apron. He'll let it push up just a little bit, and he'll kind of cut it down a little bit more coming off the corner. It's more 1 and 2 that you see that. You don't quite see that as much as 3 and 4. 1 and 2, I mean, he's got a pretty big arc under the corner and a big, like he's diving into the corner. I really like what I'm seeing there, and that's why he's up front right now in that number 37 machine.
And how about this, Ben Burnett, you know, of course, part of the Burnett Motorsports Dakota, 2 of his teammates finished in the top 5. Mr. Wilson finished 3rd, C.J. LeVere finished 4th, but Ben would fall all the way back to 34th last week, or 2 weeks ago at Kentucky, Dakota, 5 laps down. You'd think that if he wouldn't have gotten into that incident, that he could have managed to work his way in the top 5 or top 10 possibly as well. But here he is tonight, redemption at Martinsville. He's in the lead.
It looks like Chris Cable kind of closed a little bit. He'll get sideways, though, every once in a while coming off the corner, and you'll see that rear end just kind of kick out and get a little sideways. He'll save it and lose a lot of time, though. Ben Burnett, I talked to him, you know, about yesterday, I want to say, and he actually told me this is probably his favorite track. ever. I mean, he spends a lot of time practicing here, and this is where he usually, plans to be good. He's showing it here as he leads the way. Is Chris Cable actually coming up to the bumper there, but not easily. You see the 05 kind of sliding around quite a bit now. Look around. How about David Lanza in the third position? Has actually caught this duo.
And David Lanza starting to make his self known up towards the front there, just outside the top 10. Lanza sits in the points. Back here in 16th, though, Dakota, Mr. Wilson, who's sitting 10th in points. Remember, finished 18th last time out here at Martinsville, but he just got around Mark Bratcher a second ago. Made that pass look easy. But again, so you'll see the hand go out the window here, allowing someone by just to get back in line as Mark Bratcher nearly loses it out of turn 4 there.
And I've been moving around here looking at several different drivers here, and one guy that catches your eye, he's already in the top 5. He ran second at the last short track we were at, and he kind of shows up at a lot of the short tracks and is really, really good. Mike King, he's only sitting back in the 5th position already. Generally has to climb to the field, and he actually started 6th, so he's up one spot from where he started. I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of the 4 machine, and we'll see more of him as the race goes on, as we have a battle for second. It looks like David Lanza just went around Chris Cable, and now Lanza sets his sights on Ben Burnett.
So move another Chevrolet up, and a Ford backwards as Cable falls victim to Lanza's attack. Now Cable going to sneak back up under the rear deck lid of Lanza as they go down the front stretch, had to back out the throttle, and John Hanna Jr. just behind them in that 5 car, Dakota. John Hanna Jr. steadily climbing the point standings. Good win tonight, could crack him possibly up into the top 20.
And when you talk point standings, you got to think points leader Dwayne Vincent. He's sitting in 5th position right now. He's up one spot from where we talked about him last time, and he's kind of by himself here trying to run down these 2 cars in front of him. It's Eric Brundys and Glenn Campbell in front of him, with John Abbott right behind him there.
John Abbott, of course, using that Nesquik Chevrolet tonight, Dakota. And again, you mentioned he's got the points leader in front of him, Dwayne Vincent.
He hit in front of Dwayne Vincent. He just caught those 2 in front of him because they just switched positions. Glenn Campbell kind of going backwards quite a bit here. He's losing a lot of time here in the 44 machine as that caution comes out.
Got a spinner, White Wolf Jr., 36th position. He's going to spin that Ford out, Dakota, coming out of turn 4. But he may have a little Lowe's help. And there's just a big checkup. Yeah, nothing that Jimmy North could have done there. Going back and looking, there was a big checkup, like it was the 88 of Adam Roberts. Matt Lacrosse involved, the 36 car involved as well. But remember what we talked about, the accordion effect, using the brakes. I think that's probably what we just saw there.
I can tell you exactly what that was the 88 of Adam Roberts. Man, he got sideways. I mean, it almost looked like he spun the car around there.
Yeah, and he got into the wall. There you see the checkup. Matt Lacrosse there, the 36 there. There's the checkup. The blue neon-looking car that you see mid-screen is going to be White Wolf, who's just going to get hammered by the 84. But again, nowhere to go, and 63 is going to come down into the inside wall and just give it a little bit of a love tap there with the right front and the right rear.
And pit road got busy there for a second, Joshua Harbison.
Yeah, I was watching Ben Burnett, and I was also watching David Lanza. Both of them came in, took 4 tires and fuel, and looks like Lanza's stop was a little bit faster than Burnett's. He almost beat him out.
So round number 2 of pit stops here on ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network. We're going to step away, take our first commercial break, and hopefully when we return, some green flag racing here at Martinsville Speedway, the Paperclip.
Where you could hear everything from big 80 metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks Networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And we're back where the pace car leads the field through turn 2. New leader on the racetrack is the 10 Nesquik Chevrolet of John Abbott. And he did not pit. And the 26 of Jose Gonzalez also not elected to pit this time by Dakota. He's the second place man. And here we go. It'll be green flag racing coming out of turn 4 as Jose, the Don Q man, brings us to the line with Abbott.
There we go. Green flag is out. And it looks like Abbott's away. Jose Gonzalez starts back to the third. Oh! Gonzalez gets a bump from Chris Cable. Saves it. What a save. But up front, it is Ben Burnett who has taken the lead.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that officials did not delay the caution again, Dakota, because, you know, when you're looking at Gonzalez, he was back there and where 4th, maybe even 6th place car would line up at. Abbott had a run to the green all by himself. And speaking of run to the green, meanwhile, Lanza now under Abbott, but Burnett got by him just a second ago, Dakota, and now he's back out front.
And Burnett has a huge gap now. We'll see who really has the faster car, I think, right now, whether Ben Burnett's saving his tires or anything of the sort. I know we got a lot of practice and we'll have to see, but it looks like Lanza might be closing in pretty quickly here.
Now Cable all over the back door of John Abbott as they exit the 4. Also in the mix coming up as well. Look at that red, shiny 04 of Mike King, who nearly won it at Bristol a couple of weeks ago, Dakota. And I tell you, he's under John Abbott for 4th.
Coming, man. Remember we talked about it a little bit earlier. He was in the 5th position. Now he's going underneath for 4th. And he's going to have the guy who's in 3rd right in front of him. He's going to be up front rather quickly here. And remember at Bristol when he finished 2nd, he had to start from the rear of the field. He was just one of the cars that survived and then had one of the best cars on track. This guy knows how to get it done in a short track, and he's already in a pretty good spot being out front. And I think he's making the professor look good, because he said you got to qualify at front, and that's exactly what Chris Cable, the short track expert, did.
So again, we have 41 drivers at the green flag here tonight, with Ben Burnett leading us to the green. And now we have 31 drivers all the way back to the 71 of Keith Brooks Jr., who is on the lead lap. And then 32nd would be C.J. Lovera, 1 lap down. And behind him, to cut all the way to 41st, they're either 1 lap, 2 laps, or even 6 laps down, where Matt LaCrosse sits 41st.
Yeah, and I would say it's a bad day for Matt LaCrosse, sitting in that 41st position, 6 laps down. Definitely not the kind of day he wanted to have, but he is out currently running. He was just caught up in that last caution. When they had the big stack up, he had nowhere to go, was run over, and that would have put him on pit road for quite a while. And remember, you get lapped fairly quickly, so it doesn't even take but 2 or 3 minutes worth of damage, and you'll be about 10 laps down because of the way the pace laps work here, about 30-second pace laps.
Looking at Bobby Terrell back here, Dakota, in the 16 car, 14th position. Got a big battle behind him, the 15 of Rhett McBride and the 20 of Mike Montesi, as those drivers continue to try to get in up towards the top 10.
It's a bit of a fight to get to the top 10. How about Jose Gonzalez, John Abbott sitting 10th and 11th? Remember, those guys stayed out last time by, so just trying to hang in there right now is Ronnie Potts sitting in that 12th position right on the bumper of John Abbott. He should be looking down low sometime now. Looks like he might be, yeah, I believe he's going to be shooting down here. Just probably gets a chance. It's really hard to find a way to pass here. These guys don't have much of an opportunity the way they have to make the corner here to keep the car rotating, and that can make things difficult. But you'll see the 2 pull up right on the bumper of the 10, have to back up so he doesn't really run him over coming off the corner, and then keep going until he gets close enough that he can make that boot coming off the corner.
And the venue again tonight, Martinsville Speedway, located just outside of Ridgeway, Virginia. A track, Dakota, that we're under caution now, but a track that's been opened since 1947, the same year that it broke ground. And the asphalt/concrete configuration makes for some really quick racing into the corners and coming out of the corners. And again, International Speedway Corporation, the owner, 65,000. Capacity, big track. A very light track around this circuit here as we work another caution.
Caution is for Nathan Little, who was 31st. He had some electrical problems, and he would end up pulling over and stopping on the track to get everything sorted out, and he would end up pulling it behind the wall in the garage, and his day may be over.
So now it's going to bring all the race car drivers down pit road where Joshua Harbinson sits. Josh, 35 miles an hour down pit road, but Ben Burnett's got the best one in the house at the very end.
Yes, he does. His crew's on the wall. They're waiting for him to get there. I haven't got word from the crew chief. I don't know if this is going to be a 2-tire, 4-tire stop. Other crews are taking 4s. Some are taking 2s, but there's a lot of bear bond going on a lot of cars.
Watching the left side, right side just went down, left side's not going up, so it'll be a 4-tire call for Ben Burnett. David Lands is out, and now he has to race Ben Burnett out. Looks like Ben Burnett will win the battle off pit road here, Michael Keaton.
Absolutely, and now we see drivers just ahead of Ben Burnett coming down pit road. Man, I tell you, Dakota, these guys had to catch up, and now Ben Burnett may or may not be your race leader when we go back to green here, as I see Guy Snyder stayed out.
As well as Eric Arnold.
Yeah, Eric Arnold's out there. Now Dred's back, and the 45 directly behind the 47 is a lap down. So is Adam Roberts, Ed Williams Jr., North. Those guys are trying to get back on the lead lap.
And CJ LeBaire picking up the lucky dog there. But, yeah, Guy Snyder's going to stay out here. I would say it's because he's not got too many laps on his tires. I mean, he did come down last time and get 4 tires, so he should be all right. He's just going to stay out here, and I believe he'll have Eric Arnold for company. But last time this happened, do remember, Ben Burnett went by the guys that stayed out like they were standing still, and it did not take very long at all.
Now, Stephen Herring's in a good spot. That 98 car that you see, it's Bo time. Bojangles Chevrolet. He is 1 lap down, Dakota, but he's in front of the leader, Guy Snyder, and that will allow him to pass the pace car this time by.
Yeah, that will definitely put him back on the lead lap, or actually, yeah, that'll put him back on the lead lap. He'll pick up 1 lap. He's going around now, and the caution was delayed again.
Yeah, I think they're doing that to allow the field to catch up there and get double file. You'll see just in turn 3. Look, the pace car's halfway down the backstretch. You still got guys just now exiting turn 3. And now they're just on the front stretch. Remember, Herring, he's making his way up towards the field because he's got to pass all the guys that's a lap down. So, I understand the delayed caution there. It just makes sense.
I don't know. I think they're doing it to screw with you. I mean, last time they did, you ended up trying to call the green flag coming out.
I think I did it 4 times in a row, didn't I?
You did.
I think Greg's getting me. But and Greg's the one. Greg's is the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series racing official for tonight, as well as I think he's got a partner in crime up there, if I'm not mistaken. Patrick Hayes. As the field, Dakota rounds the backstretch. Pace cars down low into the pit area. Guy Snyder in that lime green is going to take us to the green.
We'll see if the old tires spin. Looks like the outside lane either didn't go or spun the tires a little bit. That's Eric Arnold, and he's going backwards, kind of checking up the outside lane entirely. It's David Lanza. 3 wide back there, and up front, it's Ben Burnett trying to chase down the 27, the Guy Snyder. They make contact. Snyder's about around, saves it, and here comes Burnett. Big stack up on the inside lane now.
Woo, I tell you what, Guy Snyder is pushing that Chevrolet around this Martinsville racetrack like he stole it, as Ben Burnett giving him the little bump there in 2.
I should say, get out of the way, or I'm going to move you out of the way right there. Oh, no, he diamonds the corner, nearly makes contact, has to really rotate the car, turn the car, come out the corner. He'll be in front of Guy Snyder for now, and the caution comes out.
Oh, this is going to be a big one. On the backstretch is where it's going to start at. And it's going to start with, looks like the 71 machine of Keith Brooks Jr. running 26th spot. Is just going to lose it out of turn 2, Dakota. And the rest is kind of history.
ETV Live was very negligent. That's the number 71 machine. But watching this is lap 53, position 26, number 71, Keith Brooks Jr. coming off the corner. It's going through the corner, and he just gets off the corner sideways, puts it in the outside wall, trying to overcorrecting it. Ed Williams Jr. goes down, barely taps the wall, trying to miss him, and just a big pile up behind him of cars not really having anywhere to go. Matt Lacrosse heavily damaged there. It looks like the front and the rear end of that car destroyed.
Yeah, so was Joey Gattina there, the 91. Stephen Herring, who just got the wave around, he's damaged. Steve Gottschalk, again, the 91 machine damaged. White Wolf Jr. for the second time tonight involved in the wreck. A couple of cars, though, Joshua Harbinson, have pulled it down into the garage area.
Yeah, Keith Brooks Jr., he's done. That was just too much for his little car to take, and it's they pulled it behind the garage.
Just too bad, I tell you. Now we might see another car, White Wolf Jr. He's pretty bad in shape. So is Matt Lacrosse. They may wheel it behind the garage area. And again, you're watching ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. And in case you missed it tonight, we had a great show leading up to tonight's race at 8:30 p.m. The iRacing Today radio show. And again, a new show that started tonight. Show hosted by Trevor Cameron and Chad Dalton. By the fans and for the fans. This is an unabridged, unbiased, and unadulterated live radio show about everything iRacing, up close and not personal. Again, join Trevor and Chad as they interact with live call-ins, live guests, and a whole lot more. No rules, no back talk, and no BS. iRacing Today radio show started tonight and will continue now every Monday night before the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series race on ETV Live Radio. Also featured on iTunes, Windows Media Guide, and TuneIn's radio. And you can get the mobile app and take it with you on the go from TuneIn.com. Again, that is the iRacing Today radio show, Dakota, and those guys did a fabulous job tonight.
And if you want more information on the show tonight, I do believe there's a little bit of information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/pages/ETV Live, ETV-Live.
Also, too, these guys have a website as well, iRacingTodayRadio.com. iRacingTodayRadio.com, as the caution has just been waived once again to let the field kind of get set back up. The man who's going to be leading us back to green is the man who's been in charge for the most of tonight, and that's going to be Ben Burnett in that 37 machine. Again, these guys are racing and fighting and clawing their way for a championship, not only just for the bragging rights, Dakota, but for the Bob Roll Racing cockpit seat that we'll talk about here in a minute. But he's back on board for the 2013 season as Landon Huffman won the 2012 go-around.
And if you'd like to join these guys, the big guys, big boys that say go around circles here at the racetracks like Martinsville Speedway, you can go to RealSimRacing.com. You get redirected to where they're at. You can sign up. Or you can just follow along with headlines and whatnot throughout the coming weeks as we go back green flag racing here, Michael Keaton.
And the lime green machine that you see on the outside is Guy Snyder. the man who just pulled away is Ben Burnett, now the 05 from Texas. And the Ford, Chris Cable, going to work underneath that second spot and claim it down the backstretch.
Not necessarily claim, because Snyder's hanging on the outside. He's going to fall back now, and Chad Cole has worked his way up there, but nowhere to go on the outside now.
Now, we saw the Asphalt Assault Series, Dakota, last Thursday night here at Martinsville. We saw some racing on the outside at Martinsville. It can work, but you know, if you don't trust the guy that's below you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to peach him the way you need to, and you know, you could go backwards in a hurry.
Last week's winner, Jack Cole, just got sideways coming off of the corner, trying to pass his teammate, Guy Snyder. Is able to complete the pass, but just barely. And again, that's last week's winner, moving up in positions here and setting the sights on the leaders here. And how about also, do you want to mention Dwayne Vincent, points leader, up to 3rd position after starting, I do believe, 11th.
And guys, he is 40 points up on Chad Cole, who's running 2nd in the points. Chad Cole currently on the racetrack running 5th, so Cole doing what he needs to do. Now let's go for a halfway near report to Joshua Harbison on pit road, who's got an update on some of the race cars who's been banging their way through the early stages of Martinsville.
Yeah, one driver pulled his car behind the wall. There was too much damage. It was Steve Goschalk. He's out of the race right now. And Adam Roberts came in on pit road. His car, to him, said it had a weird vibration to it, and it even sounded funny. So they pulled that back into the garage, but we don't know if he'll be back on the track yet.
Now there's 26 drivers all the way back to Eric Arnold, the 47 Dakota, who is on the lead lap. And then after that, it's Jonathan Goodell, who would stand to be given the Lucky Dog Award if we were to go caution here the next lap or two. He holds on to that 27th spot. Again, 41 drivers took the green flag here tonight. Nathan Little being scored in the last position, 21 down.
And right now we have a really close battlefield lead. Looks like they just went around the 14, the lap car there, but these guys have been extremely close the last few laps, and it kind of, you know, it looks like the 37 will get a little bit of a gap, and then the 05 will pull back up to his bumper, and sometimes they get a little bit closer, but I don't know that he can make the pass here, as he's just looking for that hole.
Let's talk about the man who sits 4th East Dakota, David Lanza, 33 machine, out of California, Hayward, California. Been racing nearly about as long as you've been alive, Dakota. Been sim racing since 1994, and made his first start, real sim racing world of things, in 2012.
I'm sorry, did you say nearly?
Yeah, I mean, what year are you born? 97, yeah. 3 years before Dakota Ehrman, the co-broadcaster here with me tonight, was born. The 45-year-old out of California was banging the fenders on the NASCAR game that came out in 1994. Wow, that's a long career of sim racing, Dakota.
I would say so.
But hey, look at the battle here in the top 4 at Martinsville. You mentioned the guy who's in 2nd, Chris Cable.
Yeah, he's all over the bumper there, the leader. So he's going to fall off. Now he's getting a little loose. He might have got the wall to the wall there. He's still right. He's still in the bumper of the 37, but man, he just cannot get the thing to rotate. Looks like where he needs it to. He can still carry grip off the corner and to be able to do anything with the 37. I think that's what this guy's lacking right now, a little bit of rear end grip. You see the 05, he's hanging in there. He's a little sideways, but all right. There's a little bit of time. He's kind of getting in the corner a little bit deeper than the 37 of Ben Burnett, and that's helping Ben Burnett get off the corner just a little bit better with more grip. But the 05, if he's going to do anything, it's going to be when he gets to the bumper of the 37 going into the corner one of these times, as now it looks like Wayne Vincent and David Lanza have caught these 2 leaders.
A little bit of an eye on Chris Cable out of Mansfield, Texas. Currently location, though, Dakota, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in North Carolina. I tell you, Chris Cable, just another one of many here in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series that's a part of our nation's military, and I commend him for his service in the Air Force. And I tell you, working on F-15s, it's like he can work on a race car as well, as he works the first place car Ben Burnett to death the last couple of laps coming into turn 1, and Chris Cable is going to have to wait until this caution's over with now.
Fortunately, he will. And as you said, the caution flag flying out. Here in the 45, who was in 28th position, would bring out the caution here. And looking back to see exactly what happened, it was the 45, 28th position, lap 73 coming off of turn number, I want to say this is turn 4. And just looks like the 69, I want to say that might be Hayes, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think Dresbach drifted up into the second lane, and Joseph Hayes wanted to take advantage of that, make the pass go down low in that first lane there, and Kel Dresbach wanted to reclaim it. And guess what? Two people can't live on the same piece of property at Martinsville. And you'll see that Skunks Works Chevrolet lose it there. Almost going down into the pit lane there, Dakota, but Dresbach nonetheless going to eat the inside pit wall there, take it for a spin.
Yeah, he tries to go backwards to get rolling, and then puts it in the inside wall.
So now we're back under caution here. Again, I want to talk to you, Bob Earl Racing, a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver himself, Bob Earl. Who better than a race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit for you at your home? A former race car driver, Bob knows exactly what it means to be comfortable behind the cockpit, and he wants you to feel the exact same way at home. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shift mount sold separately. And again, the proud sponsor, 2 years in a row, of the 2012 and the 2013 Full Throttle Cup Series, a high-quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it today at bobearlracing.com.
And I do believe Jonathan Goodell is the lucky dog here in the 11 machine. He was currently, before that, he was sitting just about 30th position in the 11 machine, and he'll be currently now scored 29th, I do believe, the last car on the lead lap here.
Of course, Jonathan Goodell, one of the other guys, part of the military. And, of course, Joshua Harbinson, the man who's on pit road also. Proud worker in the military, working on Blackhawks. Josh, military man in the house. You got to love these other guys in here racing.
Oh, it's nice to see other service members racing. It's even cooler when you're racing with them and they start talking about stuff that you know about that some other people might not.
Absolutely. Of course, Eric Arnold, one of those other guys, recently married. Wonder how that's working out for old Eric. I tell you, you know, Dakota, last year and possibly before Eric got married, I would see him running in the top 5, top 10. And, you know, now that he's gotten married, he's back here in 25th at Martinsville, but Eric's been rather kind of quiet. You think that marriage has anything to do with it?
No, I'd say he's just waiting on a day maybe she's watching to make a big highlight out of it. To you know, if he's been in the back all kinds of weeks in a row, and he's running up front, we'll make a big deal out of it, and he gets more television time.
Well, you know, they say the early stages of marriage, the honeymoon stages, which I guess is, as JD calls it, the first 2 years, you really don't have as much free time, and then as the years grow on, you start taking your wife to on 5-year anniversary trips down the road at a 1-star hotel, and then again the time that you get to spend in racing starts to appreciate, and you get more and more as we go back green here.
Kate Window, as we're back in flag racing, Burnett leads the way. Dwayne Vincent and Chris Cable side by side for second position. Dwayne Vincent carrying a lot of momentum on the inside. He has the preferred line. He'll throw it down and nearly get to the apron, let it push up just a little bit, and kind of diamond that corner, and he'll roll off the corner just fine. And now to his sight to the 37 up in Burnett.
I'll tell you what, Dwayne Vincent just turned the quickest lap of his race, 19.497 on lap 82, and he is a man on a mission. Remember, Dwayne started 11th. And here he is up to second. I'm going to tell you something. He's got a hot rod tonight in that black Dalla rattlesnake-looking machine. the Black Dahlia.
He's making it work. He's being chased by Dwayne Vincent, but still rolling.
Of course, Dwayne Vincent, the man who has plenty of nicknames. I think he has been given the most nicknames in the real sim racing sound of things. Now we 1, 2, 3 as they begin to separate. Let's take you back deep into the field. Back here in the 24th position, where Glenn Campbell and his Ford machine, Pennzoil yellow machine, continues to run. He's got Mike Skinner all over the back door of him, and then there's Justin Wilson. A little 3-car battle there for the 24th position. If Skinner goes underneath, and here comes Wilson.
And Campbell go backwards. We'll get the wall a little bit. That'll slow him up even more, because here comes CJ LeVere. He's got to shut the door on LeVere. LeVere now looking outside, kind of trying to art the corner, trying to diamond it, try to move around if he can. The Ford of Glenn Campbell not going to allow the 44 Ford of Glenn Campbell not really wanting to allow the Ford CJ LeVere to get by, but LeVere not really caring. He throws down the inside and is actually going to make it work here. As now there's one more car coming underneath him. That's going to be the 15 of Brad McBride.
15 car, Rhett McBride. He was in the top 10 a couple of weeks ago, Dakota. Now he's slipped out of the mix. Rhett McBride, 15 car.
Yeah, he's kind of falling back a little bit here. I do want to say from where he started. I'm looking at this. He started 14th. He was running up front for quite a while. Now currently sitting in the 27th position, setting his sights on the floor to CJ LeVere. I'm wondering if this car doesn't have some kind of damage somewhere, because it's just falling back, about 13 spots from where it started, and that's not something you typically see at Martinsville. Once you start, that's really where you want to stay. So he could be in trouble as we see somebody up here backing up rather quickly.
Nearly halfway home here, Dakota. Going to go ahead and talk about the ETV Live 2013 lineup. And boy, what a lineup. Monday night, you're watching it right now, 9:30 p.m. sharp. Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock sharp, ETV Live Team Series Racing, sponsored by HD Radio Network. Wednesday night is the Maritime Racing League Short Track Racing, which is Tim Terry's gang out of Eastern Canada. That's soon to wrap up. That gets fired up at 7. Thursday night, 9:30 sharp, Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing TV and Derek Spear Designs. And of course, Friday night, you can catch the Super Speedway Cup Series at 9:45 p.m. We also got some other stuff coming up in the future here, Dakota, but a couple of series starting to come upon us. Got one starting up in July.
I believe that's Neoska, correct?
Yeah, Neoska. And you got the Cora on Sunday nights. It's going to be starting. A lot more to come, I tell you.
Yeah, and Super Speedway Cup will be back for a few more seasons, or at least one or two, I do believe. And kind of going to re-sign for next season. Kind of going to be cool to be back with them again. Myself and Chad Dalton there, calling the action there. A lot of fun, Super Speedways, and these guys are really good at what they do there. Don't miss it.
So, nearly halfway home, Martinsville Speedway, you're watching ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. We're going to go ahead and step away for a commercial break, and then we're going to bring you back the halfway update point, where we'll see where the top 10 in points run on the racetrack when we return.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50-caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
And welcome back to ETV's live coverage of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Again, ETV powered by the HG Radio Network. The halfway point is over. The man who led it was Ben Burnett. Of course, Ben Burnett in that 37 has been pretty dominant. The only man who's really kind of contended is Dwayne Vincent, who ran his fastest lap time of the race deep into it, around lap 82. And now we're going to run you through the top 10 in points and where they currently run on the racetrack. Dwayne Vincent, the man on the pole position and points-wise, is second on the racetrack. Chad Cole, who sits second in points, is fifth. Guy Snyder's ninth on the racetrack currently. Rich Jett is 14th. John Abbott, 16th. Kel Drez back. Had a little bit of a trouble there, Dakota, in that 45 machine, all the way back in 35th. C.J. Levere, 21st. The 44 of Glenn Campbell, currently being shown in the 29th position, just one lap down. And you'll have Doug Roth, who sits 9th in points in that 43 car. Doug Roth currently on the racetrack. And then, I think,
31st, 2 laps down.
yeah, Doug Roth 31st, couldn't find him there. And then Justin Wilson, also making tonight's race. Justin Wilson. Sitting 17th, okay, 17th. You know, I tell you, every time it takes about 15 seconds to bring out where they're, where they're at in the points, and then where they're on the racetrack. And then by the time I get that out, they've already passed the start-finish line, and then the positions change on me, and it moves all the names around. Our statistician has disappeared, so I had to kind of do that flyby by hand. So.
That's Mr. Stat Guy to you, George Wood.
Yeah, Mr. Hope he's okay. Back to green flag racing still, though, currently. Ben Burnett working through a whole bunch of field of lap-down cars here. Dakota's got Rhett McBride just ahead in front of him in 26. He's currently on the lead lap. Rhett McBride trying to hang on to it, but I tell you, Ben Burnett's going to not allow him to.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of company right now behind him, the leader does. So they're going to go 3 wide. Just not quite the smartest thing to do, working lap traffic right now. You're the leader. Definitely don't want to take that risk. Right now he's in a really bad spot with all these lap cars kind of sliding around here. But, I mean, he's got a lot of traffic behind him that are leaders. These guys are up here racing for position. He's got really nowhere he can go, but he does not want to get wrecked. That's the last thing you want to do. Definitely don't want to shove it in 3 wide like he did. Good thing he backed out, I think, there. But here goes Ben Burnett, still the leader. Still working lap traffic here on lap 110 of 200.
And the 2 men in front of him again, Rhett McBride, who's directly in front, length ahead, and then the 47 of Eric Arnold. Those guys are near danger of going a lap down. As now Rhett McBride looks underneath the 47 of Arnold in turn 3, and so will Burnett. As these guys touch in front of the leaders, Ben Burnett having to back out of the throttle. Dangerous situation for the leaders here.
So there's really one thing more that Ben Burnett could do right now, and that's he could really get to the bumper of these guys and get them out of the way. That's something you really don't want to do, because you don't want to irritate these guys in front of you, because they can control your fate right now. But this Martinsville right now, he's either stuck right in behind them, finding the hole eventually, or moving them out of the way right now, and it looks like he's riding it out, finding the hole. As it looks like Eric Arnold fell back a few spots there, and he's now set his sights on Rhett McBride. He's holding his own pretty well, trying to hunt down the car in front of him.
And as I mentioned in the 2013 ETV lineup on tonight's, the Asphalt Assault Series again with the Real Sim Racing Group, sponsored by the Inside Sim Racing Dakota, sponsoring the Thursday night series. Your first and best choice for all news and reviews in online motorsports. Join Darren Ganji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation auto racing games for the computer and the Xbox, steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. They are the Yellow Pages for online auto racing. Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them today at ISRTV.com.
Check them out. They've got everything, including the March on Michigan 300. We actually broadcasted that a few weeks ago. It was sponsored by Inside Sim Racing. Really cool deal. Really cool event. I think we saw a few guys from Real Sim Racing as well as the Super Speedway Cup guys. It was a lot of fun, and glad we could be there to call the action.
And of course, too, that was a truck race, I believe, Dakota, and got a truck league coming up soon. I'm sure JD will have all the latest at the end of this broadcast talking about the new leagues that are coming up. And I tell you, there's quite a few of them that ETV's claiming. You know, the online broadcaster team in motorsports. I tell you, look at 13 of Dwayne Vincent, Dakota. I mean, he nearly snuck underneath Burnett there out of turn 4.
Yeah, remember, Vincent is the points leader. Burnett has got to be careful there. If he wants to sneak away right here, he's got to be very, very careful. Make sure he hits his line, hits his marks, it gets to the corner just right. Definitely does not want to hold up the 13. Definitely does not want to let the 13 by either. You can't enter too high. You can't enter too low. Because, I mean, if you enter too low, he's probably going to hit that apron push-up and lose the spot that way. If he enters too high, that'll give the chance to the 13 to get underneath him. Especially if the 13's right on his bumper. You definitely don't want to do that either, because the 13 could throw the car in there and either lock up the brakes and push up into him, or just he might be able to stick it down there and get by him that way. But, I mean, that's something you don't want to do. He's really got to hit his marks here is what I'm trying to say.
And again, you know, Ben Burnett's the sponsored car by ETV for this season. Dakota, I mentioned at the very beginning, when we went through the lineup, row 1, that sponsored ETV car. I tell you, it looks good. And, of course, he is out front and has looked good from the beginning, even in qualifying. Heck, Ben Burnett, pretty quick in practice as well. And right now, though, he cannot shake loose of that black dahlia that's behind him, Dwayne Vincent.
That he can't. That's an easy job. He had a pretty good gap, but now he's worked all this traffic and had somebody on his bumper that could have wore his tires out. His caution comes out on lap 122 of 200 here at Martinsville Speedway. It looks like it will be the 2 of Ronnie Potts, 10th position, lap 121, working the backstretch coming off of turn number 2. It actually happens in front of him. He's just, I believe, spins it out, checking up, locking up the brakes, but it was 05, the 05 of Chris Cable. He was up even further than that. He was actually racing with Guy Snyder for 6th position, lap 121 in turn 3. It looks like, I'm not sure what happens here, but yeah, he dives in the corner and ends up 3 wide, makes contact with the car on the outside, then gets turned by Guy Snyder with nowhere to go. That'll spin the 05 around. He'll stop on the apron. It looks like Ronnie Potts would lock up the brakes, try to miss him. And then there's a big bunch of cars trying not to run on the bottom so they don't hit Chris Cable, who's spinning around, and almost a few incidents there as they try to miss him.
And then Ronnie Potts will actually lose a lap from that, Dakota, as he'll fall from 11th all the way back to 23rd position with that mix-up there. He got on the gas and throttled it out. But down on pit road, the leaders, Josh.
Yeah, Ben Burnett's coming in. He's going to get 4 tires of fuel. He likes the way his car's handling, but he's pushing his pit crew right now because, as you can tell, Dwayne Vincent is right on his bumper coming out. He did the same amount of tires.
And you know what, Dakota? If I'm Dwayne Vincent, now this is just me, I'm going to let David Lanza beat me off pit road because there's no one else that's behind Lanza that's close enough, other than Cole, who's going to come out 4th. But look how far back he was. I mean, he's about 2 lengths back, 2 turns back. If I'm Vincent, I want to restart on the bottom. But that's just me. A little bit of advantage to the inside row versus the outside row. I guess you could remember Jose Gonzalez on the outside earlier. Got freight trained.
Well, I would say outside lane bad. It's what we've seen every restart so far. The outside lane just went back unless the guy really knew how to use it. And then even then, you've got to jump in line. It's not about whether the outside's rolling or not. It's about getting around the car that's on the inside, so you can get down the inside where the groove is.
So we mentioned the goers Dakota did. Rich Jett, 2 top 10s in the last 2 weeks. Rich Jett currently on the racetrack, 16th on the lead lap. He went up as high as Dakota's 11th position, and now he's faltered back a little bit as the cycle of pit stops just went through here under caution. Rich Jett trying to keep the momentum up for him. And Justin Wilson, how about this, being scored as your race leader. He's also scored 2 top 10s in the last 2 weeks, nearly almost 2 top 5s, 6th and 3rd respectively.
And Keaton, it looked like we was about to get green flag racing. You want to take us to the green here?
Yeah, just thrown out, yeah. And then, too, I want to make mention that R.J. Williams is not here tonight. 75 machine, no show. Of course, R.J. suffering 2 nearly back-to-back last place finishes, 41st 3 weeks ago and 42nd 2 weeks ago. Of course, they had last week off, and this week not here, going to be shown in the 42nd position, I guess you could call it, points, or rack up 0 points for him. So Dakota may be an early withdrawal from the season, who knows, but the man who's really dominating tonight, Ben Burnett, who's dominated the season thus far, is Dwayne Vincent, who again, 6 starts, 1 pole, 3 wins, 5 top 5s, and of course 5 top 10s, and an average finish of 5th.
Dwayne Vincent is he's got a big points lead. I believe it's 40 points over 2nd place. Dwayne Vincent finishing strong every week. You see him here running in the 3rd position currently. Justin Wilson stayed out, but Vincent is always strong. He's always a contender, and that's why he's got that 40-point lead. There's some people that have just had some bad luck, and that's put him up front because he's just always finishing up front. He's getting those points out of it. But I'll tell you what, we're about to have a car on old tires. Restart this race, really old tires. I have to watch for the tires spinning here in the restart here, Keaton.
Yeah, keep an eye out on Justin Wilson there, who's now out front. Now, Dwayne Vincent, how about this? 325 laps led with the season so far. No one close but R.J. Williams, who's led 97. But remember, R.J. Williams, maybe an early dismissal for him and pulling himself out of the series with 3 back-to-back bad finishes. But then the next man that's closest to leading anywhere near it would be Justin Wilson, who just led a couple of laps there under caution with 48 led total. So, dominating car this season? Yeah. The Black Dahlia of the 13 of Dwayne Vincent.
And I'll tell you what, Ben Burnett nearly lost his car. I mean, he was on the outside of Justin Wilson and was nearly taken out. I mean, just the way Wilson pushed up the track, I was a little concerned for Burnett. Burnett getting around him, clearing him, and getting down and away. He is the leader now in that ATV live car. But now Dwayne Vincent all over the bumper of the 37. Looks like Vincent might be the guy that's got something for this Ben Burnett.
Yeah, Dwayne Vincent's just sitting there, patient. Just turned his fastest lap time a couple of laps ago, Dakota. Dwayne Vincent getting quicker and quicker, a 19.421. Just still tenths off from his fastest in qualifying. Now Ben Burnett, on the other hand, Ben putting up a really quick lap on 33 there with a 19.453. Dwayne Vincent, though, quicker in race trim than Ben Burnett. Imagine that.
Yeah, just a hundredth, I believe it's actually 14 thousandths of a second faster. That's not much, but that can be enough at a place like this, especially if you're nose to nose at the finish line. We'll have to see whether those lap times carry over. Ben Burnett could be saving his tires right now. We really saw he could lay down and get lap time early in the race. Right now, I think he's more set on just running his laps, saving the tires and not spinning them every time he comes off the corner, because that could really cost him. He's really hitting his marks here. You just see him dime in the corner like I was talking about earlier. Just kind of moving the car around as he goes through the corner.
Let's go down to pit road where Joshua Harbinson's been talking to some of the crew chiefs. Josh, aside from the ETV jinx, if this thing finishes green here, if we stay green flag racing, 137 laps in the books out of 200, about 53 to go or so, 53 to 60 to go. Is there any chance that we'd see these guys back down for a green flag pit stop, or they've got the gas to finish it?
Yeah, they're good on gas to go all the way. There'd be more of a worry about tires, but everybody else is running about the same tires, so yeah, it's good on gas and the tires will last. At least that's what they're hoping.
And at least that's if the ETV jinx doesn't catch them first, Dakota.
Yeah, I think what we've been hearing really, these guys have been here all week practicing. They had an off week last week. It came down to long runs. It was just, you've got to be very, very consistent, hit your marks. These guys, probably good on fuel. We do believe they're good on fuel, just like Joshua Harbison said, but it's also, like he said, the tires may not be good for the whole run. That's what you got to be careful on. They could be spinning these tires all the way down the front stretch and the back stretch by the end of this run. Tires could be eaten up, and they'll just have to be aware of that and be careful.
And another dangerous situation that these front runners are chin up on lap traffic. Dakota just ahead. 69 machine Joseph Hayes, the last man on the lead lap in 19th position. He's about half of a turn away from going down a lap. It's Ben Burnett, Dwayne Vincent, David Lanza, Chad Cole sitting there in 4th. And 5th car, Guy Steiner, about a half of a straightaway away from the front runners here, but they're catching those lap cars pretty quick.
Extremely quick, and that's Martinsville for you, as you see Burnett rolling up on Joseph Hayes, who was involved in the caution, I believe a few cautions ago. Still remembering that, the 69, he's coming up on that 69 really, really quickly here.
Ben Burnett continuing to lead the race here. Now here it comes, Dakota. This is it. This is where you make your money. This is where you win the race. Can he work through lap traffic? 69, Joseph Hayes right ahead, side by side with Ed Williams Jr. Now works to the bottom. Burnett gets by him. He's got 2 to go here. Now he's underneath the 69, and caution's going to come out just as the ETV live machine of Ed Williams Jr. goes down a lap. And I tell you, big wreck on the front stretch.
Yeah, it actually started with just one car. It was Mike Montesi, 12th position, lap 143 in the 20 car. Comes off at turn number 4, just gets a little sideways, a lot of sideways, a lot of sideways inside wall. Comes up and just stops sideways in the middle of the front stretch. And a lot of cars happen to weave and bop to miss him, and a few cars going to make a little bit of contact checking up here for the wreck car Montesi. And a lot of cars get just parking lot, kind of moving parking lot that will kind of just a lot of cars make contact there. But
was Ed Williams trying to be the push tower there? Was he trying to be the tow truck and give the 69 a little bit of a push? Maybe that's what happened there. The 69 of Joseph Hayes maybe stalled, and then the 65 Ed Williams Jr. said, "Hey, I'll help you out, buddy, and get that car rolling for you," because Ed Williams Jr. gave him a nice big old welcoming. As the leaders, Josh, hopefully for the last time tonight for themselves, coming down pit road and exiting.
Yeah, Burnett and Vincent both took 4 tires and fuel, and Burnett seems to be dropping back. He might have gotten a speeding penalty. Mike?
Uh-oh. Josh, keep us posted. I just seen Cole go by. Hannah Jr. just followed suit.
This is not what he wants, because now he's going to be behind lap cars. He's going to have to get a caution and climb to the field. Still get around the cars up front. This is probably the position you really, really don't want to be in. Man, hate to see it.
Well, Dakota, let's talk something here. If I see any good out of it, it's only going to fall to 13th. Only going to fall to 13th. And Burnett from the lead, losing 12 spots. And he may catch a break here. I believe the 28 of Bobby Wessel just come down pit road. And that might move him up at least one more position. But Ben Burnett, the latest right now, Too fast possibly on pit road. Josh with an update. Josh, what happened?
Ben Burnett too fast exiting pit road. He saw Dwayne Vincent in the mirror and just gave it a little bit.
Oh, no. Now, is that going to be a stop and go, Dakota, or is that an EOL?
I believe he just gets an EOL here, just either way. It was under caution flag, so I do believe it's just going to be an EOL penalty. He's going to the rear of the field. You know, when you talk about him just going back to 13th, he's got to let a lot of lap cars go. Even if they are a lap down, it doesn't matter. You got the penalty. So, you know, even cars that go down pit road, they'll still get back around him. A lot of lap cars will be in front of him here, I do believe. He won't be the last car on the lead lap, but also probably near the tail end of the field here, unfortunately.
As the officials throw out the delayed caution here, working lap 51 here. They're going to come to lap 150. Next time by will be 50 to go. They'll get the green, Dakota, at 50 laps to go if we go back green. The caution's not delayed once more. And what is shaping up to be a fancy finish, as we've got another set of cars for the first time out tonight on the front row. Bobby Terrell now leading. Mark Bratcher second. Mike Skinner third. And then there's Dwayne Vincent, who would be fourth.
Yeah, he had to let all the lap cars go, so he'll be at the very rear of the field with just a few cars that had speeding penalties behind him. As the field gets set for the green flag, pace cars off, and it's going to be Bobby Terrell leading him to the green flag. There goes Bobby. He's away. Mo! Bratcher spins the tires a little bit. He gets a little sideways, and also the 31 does the same thing. He's all right, still rolling. It's Mike Skinner. He's going to check up the inside. He gets tapped a little bit. He's going to save it and be all right, I do believe.
David Lanza moving on over. No harm, no foul. Mike Skinner going to lose a couple of positions there, and here goes Lanza down the front stretch. He's going to save it, but the caution comes from somewhere else. I thought Lanza was going to lose it in fifth spot. Dakota did a heck of a job, him and John Hanna Jr. making small contact, but the caution is back there with you.
Yeah, the caution speed with Eric Brunny's 94 car. Position number 9, lap 151, going into turn number 3. He's going to drive it into the outside lane and just get a little sideways. And then at the same time, I want to say it was Mike King in the 04. We had our eyes on him earlier. He was in trouble. Just somehow managed to wash up the track and to collect the 94, put the 94 around. So the 04 will save it, but that'll put the 94 around in front of the 12. They'll nearly stop, and that will bring out the caution flag here on lap 151 of 200 here at Martinsville Speedway. Just a little under 50 laps remaining here now.
And great news for Ben Burnett. He'll actually gain a position or two now. Eric Brundy's going to have to come down pit road. Eric was in the number 14th spot, so Ben Burnett not only gaining some spots there, but he also gets to you-know-what. He gets to get by all those lap cars that we mentioned when he had that black flag from speeding. And with that being said, we're going to take a commercial break here at Martinsville Speedway, live here at ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network. Coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back where we're green flag racing. And the man who's out front has led a couple of since we've been back green, Bobby Terrell, but he's got some pursuit behind him. Dwayne Vincent now, he looks to the inside, cautions back out on the speedway at Martinsville, and it's going to be Chris Cable in the 14 machine. Going to be bringing us out the caution, and it looks like Mark Bratcher may have gotten into the back of that Texas Chevrolet there, but, you know, Dakota coming into the corner, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to do it.
Yeah, that 24 HD radio network car, ATV live car, getting into the back of that Texas number 05 machine at Chris Cable just a little bit. It was enough. There was enough speed differential and enough contact to spin the 05 around. Not much contact made for the 05 until the 43. Doug Roth hits him a few times, not really waiting on him to get rolling. Finally stops, and there you see Eric Arnold going through the crash trying to get underneath him. Nobody really wanting to stop there. They don't want to lose a lap, but Cable taking a long time to actually get set back around that straight.
One driver that's really loving it is Ben Burnett. That caution, Dakota, when we went back to green from the last caution, he was 11th. He's sitting in 9th now. He's got Justin Wilson there, Guy Snyder in front of him.
I wouldn't actually say he's loving this because right now there's 40 laps remaining, and he's got a pace for a few more, and he's got to go back green flag racing. This is cutting away the laps he has to really work through traffic here. He's still got a lot of cars to get through, and he's got to do it in a short amount of time, and it keeps getting shorter and shorter with all these caution flags. You know he's got to be getting irritated right now sitting in this car. He knows he's got a good car. He's got to get back to the front, and he knows it.
Well, the only reason I think that it could benefit him, and this is the only reason I think it could benefit him, other than the laps riding down, that's not benefited him. But he restarted 11th, and he started on the inside. He got by 2 guys that were on the outside, moved him up to 9th. Here he is again, starting on the bottom, has a chance to pass 2 more, then he's up to 7th. From 7th, who knows what he can do?
Well, I have a feeling he knows what he can do until, why don't we ask him, because he's joining us on the radio here, Mike Keaton.
Ben Burnett, Mike Keaton up in the booth, man. We just saw you on that restart a couple of moments ago. Started 11th, and then you passed by 2 on the outside. Then you got up to 9th. Caution came out. Is it benefiting you, or is it not?
Yeah, it's a big benefit. Got me caught up with all the lead lap cars. Messed up and sped a little bit in that first timing loop in pit road. Had a great pit stop, so it was all for nothing. So I'm gonna try and put on a show for you fellas so I can maybe get back to victory lane.
Well, Ben, I tell you, man, you've been dominating all night here at Martinsville, and to have that happen to you, I think you can rebound. The logo on the front of that car looks great. You look good sitting 9th. I think you can pick them off if you just be patient here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it my best shot. That's all I can do. Hope I don't get caught up in any mess.
All right, Ben. Well, good luck, man, as you pace down the backstretch to go green here.
Thank you.
Of course, that was Ben Burnett. Now the caution's going to be thrown. And we're going to go one more lap around. That gives Ben a little bit more time to get back settled there, get the race communications back over to the crew chief and spotter. As we let him go there, Ben Burnett again, starting on the pole tonight. Dakota has been a dominant race car. Then the factor on pit road come into play. You can't speed. He got a ticket, had to go all the way back to 15th. He's worked himself back up tonight, just within about 10-15 laps. Can he do it? Can he get back up there?
It's about time to find out, because here comes the pace car getting set to dive off. It's going to be Bobby Terrell leading him to the green flag, and we're watching Ben Burnett all the way back in 9th position to see if he can charge to the front. But the pace car's off. We're getting set for the green flag. Michael Keaton, take us to the green.
45-mile-an-hour pace speed. Bobby Terrell leads him off turn 4 for the green flag here tonight in Martinsville, with nearly 35 laps to go. Vincent to the outside, hard charger, not going to happen. Maybe a right front went down, who knows? He went way up high, gets into the wall off 2, and allows 3 cars to the bottom of the inside of him.
Oh, he's pushing way up there. Snyder all kinds of stuff. Oh, big contact, Burnett. It don't take much to knock out the toe. He's going to sneak away here, but he could have some damage. Big wreck, though. This could hurt a lot of the front-running cars here.
I think Burnett may be okay. On the replay, it kind of looks differently, but not okay is Vincent. Vincent, Snyder, Cole's going to be fine. He's the one that really kind of started that to a degree. Cole got loose off 4. Vincent sneaks to the bottom, but guess who was there? The 27 of Snyder.
Yeah, I think what happened here, we're watching Dwayne Vincent, who was in second before that lap. He had fallen back quite a few spots going in lap 166, turn 3. He just he dives into the corner. He's getting to the bumper of the 2, and that kind of originally, I think that might have knocked the 8 sideways. I don't know whether he was a little nervous or what. Got to the throttle a little early, and he'll get sideways. He'll save it. That'll check out the 13. 13 moves down to miss him, and then collects the 27, who just barely. I don't know how hard he hit the Ben Burnett machine, but Ben could have took enough damage to knock out the tail. I'm not quite sure here. He got hit on both sides. There's a possibility that could hurt that machine there. And I was the points leader. He got in trouble, too.
Yeah, Dwayne Vincent down on pit road. Josh, what's it look like?
They're knocking the fenders out, trying to stop the tires from rubbing. They're going to throw some Bear Bond on it, and they're going to send them back out as soon as they can get it fixed.
Only good news, Dakota, for Vincent would be that he would only fall back to 17th if he can get off and on pit road without going a lap down. As we continue to pace here, a new leader on the racetrack, David Lanza. As we're just being informed that Dwayne Vincent has been given the EOL penalty again. I don't think that's going to hurt him too bad. He's going to have to stay down pit road, get some damage fixed, as Josh pointed out. The latest he'll fall back to is about 18th position. David Lanza, leader on the racetrack. C.J. Lavere, 2nd. John Hanna Jr., 3rd. Ben Burnett up to 4th. We'll see if he sustained enough damage. Jose Gonzalez, 5th. Rich Jet, 6th. Justin Wilson, 7th. Bobby Wetzel is 8th. White Wolf Jr. and that Wolf Motorsports Chevrolet is 9th. And Mark Bratcher, sporting the HD Radio Network logo on the front of that car, is 10th.
And actually was listening on the radio, the 37. I kind of went quiet trying to listen to what was going on in 37. They don't know how the car's going to be here. So we're going to find out just as they find out here when we go back green flag racing. I'm really kind of intrigued to know. I mean, that 37 took a hard hit. This is really where we get to test the Gen 6 and its damage. I've been hearing a lot. It doesn't take much to get this car's toe knocked out to sustain a lot of damage on this car, and he took a decent little hit on the right side. Then the left side, we don't. I mean, I don't know whether this car's going to be all right or not, but he'll be 4th either way, and we'll just have to see. As we get set to go back green flag racing, pace car gets set to dive off. We'll have a little over 15 laps remaining here.
Let's see if we go back green or they delay it. Pace car down on pit road here. David Lanza looks to appear to be bringing them to the green, and we are. We're going green flag racing. David Lanza. Green flag here at Martinsville. John Hanna Jr. off to a shaky start. They'll go 3 wide in turn 1.
Yeah, he's spun the tires for sure, and that's going to cost him. It's now, Burnett underneath the 4 Lavere already. He's got to back out a little bit. He's going to lose a little bit of time giving room to the 4. 4's not going to give him any room. He's going to get to the bumper. He's going to be all over the bumper of the 4. The 4 not really going anywhere. He does not liking that. 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, John Hanna Jr., Jose Gonzalez, and Rich Jet just took them 3 wide down the front stretch for half of a second. But it doesn't take long to get excited here at Martinsville. 3 wide's always fun here.
That it is, and closing in on just a little over 25 hours remaining. Caution comes out.
This is going to be for the Jimmy North machine, 33rd position. The 84 car. Going to take a little 3 wide action for himself. There is looked like they were checking up, Dakota.
Yeah, and checking up big time. And Ronnie Potts in the 2 got in the back of him. Or that's not the 2 of Ronnie Potts. That's the 12 car there. That's the 12 of Douglas White gets in the back of him. But I think he was checking up to get room to the 69 there, because the 69, and he could see that contact coming right there. At the same time, Ronnie Potts and the 98 of Stephen Herring had made contact, but that'll put quite a few cars around us. Oh, and when I get going again, the 44 of Glenn Campbell and the 84 of Jimmy North make contact as Jonathan Caddell's trying to rejoin the track. That'll put the 84 around again. Glenn Campbell saves it, but Jimmy North not so lucky. He'll make a little bit of right front contact with the wall there.
Yeah, that, you know, before the actual caution, we saw the commotion that was up front going into turn 1. Dakota was really tight racing there. And then the caution coming out with Campbell, I believe, getting into the side door of him. I think that's what brought the caution out. At any point, at any rate, it's 25 laps to go, now 24 to go. And now they're counting them down as Ben Burnett seems to be okay. And guess what else is good for him? He'll restart third to the bottom of the racetrack at Martinsville.
And I wonder if his starting position will help him. He was having a little bit of trouble getting around the 4. And Lanza was just running away. I think Lanza might be in the best position right now. I think Burnett's car's a little hurt. LeVere was able to hold off Burnett for a second. We'll have to see if LeVere goes backwards on the restart because he's on the outside. And if Lanza can hold off, and that I believe it's a National Guard car up front.
Remember Dwayne Vincent, who just got involved in the wreck that we just seen a couple, not last caution, but the caution ago. He is the points leader coming into tonight at Martinsville, 40 up on Chad Cole. Now Chad Cole, who was running up there as well, Dakota, part of the accident, but Cole actually getting the good end of the straw there. He's 12th. But still, I think Cole's not a happy camper here at Martinsville. I don't think it might be his best track, but he's hanging in there. And currently, right now, Dwayne Vincent would still hold the points lead, but he stands to lose a little ground.
Now, here's the thing you got to look at. Vincent has a 40-point, I believe it's about a 40-point lead over Chad Cole. Cole has to make up as many spots as he can and hope Dwayne Vincent finishes very poorly. I mean, that's the only way he's going to make up any points right now. So Cole really in a bad spot here, sitting 12th. He really needs to get to the field if he wants to make up points. I mean, he's not making up too many right now, sitting 12th, and Vincent 23rd. I believe it's only 11 points or so.
Eric Arnold being the lucky dog here, trying to make it through the field there as quick as he can. Caution was delayed, and when we go back green, Dakota, 20 to go. And two, I want to point out about Dwayne Vincent, you know, like you mentioned, Dakota, you know, he's back here in 22nd position, and he's fighting for Mike Montesi, Rhett McBride, Joseph Hayes, Nathan Bowers. All those guys in front of him are 1 lap down, and if the caution were to come out quicker, those guys would be given the LD instead of Vincent. So Vincent's in a tough spot. As we go back green, let's see if Burnett can catch up, but Lanza to the green here, and there goes the 4 of LeVere.
Yeah, LeVere easily getting around Burnett there. Burnett falling in line in 3rd position. There's a 36 of Rich Jett making a pretty good on him. Remember, he is a comer tonight, and he's coming for sure, sitting in that 4th position. As we see Ben Burnett looking for the hole. Oh, it's LeVere. Yeah, that's LeVere makes contact with Lanza. That'll check out the inside lane a bit as you see Rich Jett looking on the inside, not quite, and caution's back out.
It's going to be the 13 of Dwayne Vincent, 22nd position. But it looks like it wasn't Vincent's fault. The 12 machine coming up the racetrack, that's Douglas Wyatt. But Douglas Wyatt gets a little help from the Stroker Races dodge of the 43 Doug Roth. And that's just an accordion effect there.
And Vincent even got tagged by Snyder, but what happened there is, I mean, if you look all the way back at that 12 machine, Douglas Wyatt coming off of turn number 2, I want to say this is, it's actually turn number 4. Yeah, turn number 4 there. That could be 2, but either way, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. But, I mean, if you look at Douglas Wyatt, he gets all kinds of sideways, and then he's checking up for the corner. And the 43 was already slowed up enough to make the corner, so he wasn't too concerned about checking up anymore. Gets into the back of the 12, and that'll put the 12 into Dwayne Vincent there.
And Vincent's night has went great to bad to worse, Josh, with an update on Vincent.
Yeah, before that last caution out, his crew chief asked him how bad is the car. He said bad enough. I guess there's no reason to even ask him this time. He's going to bring it into the pits. They're going to see if they can maybe get it to finish the race for points. So we'll see after this pit stop if he can get it back out there just for points tonight.
Or at least get it to quit smoking.
He may finish as bad as 31st. And he has the ability to finish at least 32nd, maybe 33rd. Well, no, just 32nd. I think that's the furthest back he can finish right now, depending on how long he's on pit road.
Earlier, Dwayne Vincent Dakota was smoking because he was fast. Now he's smoking because he's got an oil leak.
Very unfortunate day for the points leader here.
Unfortunate as he falls now back to 26th. He's now 2 laps down. Again, smoke pouring from out beneath the engine. I don't know if the crew can get it back out there. If they can, Dakota, he is gonna be hammered with more laps. And he also, if he goes one more lap down, he stands to lose 5 to 6 more positions, and he could fall all the way back to 31st. And going back to the points, remember coming in tonight at Martinsville, Dwayne Vincent 40-point lead, crowd favorite here tonight. Vincent would not finish out of the top 10 so far this season. And Chad Cole, second. Guy Snyder has also had a round of trouble tonight, third in points. Rich Jett, fourth. Rich Jett having a great night, fourth right now on the racetrack. And John Abbott, too. Been kind of rough for him tonight, but he's climbed his way back up into seventh. He's fifth in the points, Dakota.
Looking at sixth in the points is Calderas back. Sitting seventh will be C.J. LeVere. Glenn Campbell came in tonight, eighth in the points. Doug Roth, ninth, and Justin Wilson was 10th coming into the night. 83 points out of the lead.
Rich Jett, as it stands. Tell you what, man, I tell you, the 36 Rich Jett, one of the comers here tonight at Martinsville, part of the pre-race briefing that we had. Rich Jett has had an 8th, a 9th place finish in the last 2 weeks, and Jett sitting 4th right now. 8th, 9th, 4th, not a bad night if he can hang on to it. Also Wilson there, 6th and 3rd place finishes. Last 2 for him, he's sitting 5th on the racetrack. So great nights for these 2 guys if they can just hang on to it for the next 12 laps when we come to the green.
Yeah, working off too. The pace car again set to dive off. We'll go back green flag racing for the maybe the final time here tonight. The flagman gets set to drop that green flag. This could be David Lanza leading the way. Can LeVere hang on the second? Can Ben Burnett sneak by? What will happen here as we go back green flag racing? Green flag is out, Lanza's away, and LeVere is hanging with him.
LeVere had a really good start. Now caution back out on the speedway in Martinsville. And I believe this was going to be for the 21st position car of Ed Williams Jr., who was coming out of turn 4, Dakota. And again, had a little bit of a help from the 05 who spun the tires, I believe, Chris Cable in 32nd position.
Yeah, Cable definitely spun the tires. Then I'll put the 65 machine around, unfortunately.
And that's going to shape it up again for another restart. And I tell you, Lanza probably would love to get this one to go green because the restart, I'm telling you, it's not easy to go through the gears like these guys are doing it. They're making it look easy, and it's not. LeVere hanging tough on the outside. I really like to have seen what he could have done with it. And of course you got Ben Burnett, who's just shining ear to ear trying to get back up to the front. You know he won't up there, Dakota.
That he does. I'm kind of debating on who to pull for here on this restart. David Lanza has control of the restarts. As soon as the pace car dives, I do believe he's basically got control of the restart. C.J. LeVere is in a pretty good spot. I mean, he held on really well that last restart, but I think as soon as we get about a half a lap in, Lanza pulls away from LeVere. Ben Burnett has been strong all night, but I think that damage might have hurt him. And you can't count out Rich Jett. He's a comer tonight, and he was picked by the professor, who hasn't really been wrong yet. And I would say Jett's up there. He's sitting in 4th position, but I don't know that he has the time or the trap position to get the win here tonight. And with all the cautions we're getting, I want to say David Lanza might be the car to be here now.
I'd like to take the opportunity to thank a lot of the sponsors here to make these races happen. For part of every ETV broadcast, Bob Earl Racing, of course, the sponsor for tonight's event, the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Then you've got Gary Mercer Trucking, Inside Sim Racing, ETV Live, of course, the iLeague Race.com, iRacing Today radio show, and ETV Live Radio, again, powered by the HD Radio Network. Then, of course, Derek Spear Designs as well. partnering on Thursday nights for the Asphalt Assault Series.
Derek Spear Designs actually has a website there, I do believe, DerekSpearDesigns.com. I believe he's got all kinds of things, all kinds of gear that a champion sim racer would need, and I'm sure there's a few guys in the field that definitely have some things. I believe is one of the prizes that will be given out at the end of the season is going to be a button box from Derek Spear Designs. Going to be cool to see that awarded out to whoever may finish in the position that is given out to.
Oh yeah, and they're nice too. Of course, he's got shifters, pedals, like you mentioned, all kinds of racing components. Derek does a really good design with manufacturing this top stuff here. And again, Derek Spear Designs, check him out. Got a lot of cool stuff. And Ben Burnett is the man that we're talking about right now. 3rd position, Dakota. Don't count out the 4 of LeVere. He had an excellent restart there on the high side. And you've got the 33 of Lenz on the inside. 5 laps to go when they get the green. And this is coming down to the wire here. If you want to make it to the end at the checkered, you got to keep this one green. I don't think you can go under caution again.
I think it's close. We could go to caution immediately, maybe go back green flag racing for a lap at the most, I believe. But here we go. Green flag's out. Lands is away. Burnett catches the apron. That's going to put Rich Jett on the outside. Oh, somebody in the wall behind him. They're going to be all right. And it looks like LeVere just spun Lanza.
Ho! Holy moly, did you see the move that Ben Burnett put on the inside and take the lead in turn 2, Dakota? I know you've seen it. C.J. LeVere went for the green and gold there in turn 1. Got Lanza in the left rear quarter panel, sent them both up the racetrack, and Ben Burnett takes the bite and takes the win here at Martinsville. Maybe.
What just happened?
Maybe I just seen Rich Jett passing back. Oh my goodness.
Jett might be the winner here.
Oh my goodness, I thought Ben Burnett had it.
The way he made that move, it looked like it could have been him. But, I mean, if you look at it going to the caution, they were side by side going into the turn. He had to back up. Caution comes out. He is about even with the 36, but the 36 may be having a nose by the time the caution comes out. That will require him to give up the spot. And Jett will, I believe, win here tonight at Martinsville Speedway after 200 laps of intense racing.
How about that? The young man, the 28-year-old out of North Wells, Pennsylvania, part of the Excel Construction Umbrella Corporation, and Sandy Cranes and Hippie Paint Shop sponsored machine, gets it done here in dramatic fashion at Martinsville Speedway, and he just had an inch more of a hair than Burnett. And I tell you what, young man, 28-year-old out of North Wells, Pennsylvania again, Rich Jett and the Stroker Racers Chevrolet sneaks a victory at Martinsville. Congratulations, Rich.
Oh, wow. Love the Martinsville track, and you're correct in sneaking a win there. Couldn't have thrown it in a little harder and prayed that somehow he wasn't by me on the below side. I couldn't see what was going to happen below me, but thankfully I didn't get too squished by Dave and CJ there.
Man, I tell you what, when the caution flew, Rich, I thought that Burnett was underneath you. Did you know that you won it, or did it take a couple of seconds for the crew chief and spotter to work things out to let you know? How did that all unfold?
Once we went in the turn there and I saw CJ was going to get into him, like went high to kind of just dodge it, hoping to get past him, and I hit the wall because I just ran out of track, and I didn't know yet. I mean, once it hit the wall and the caution came out, a couple of people got by me, but I guess when the caution flew out, I was still ahead of them barely.
Now, Rich, let's talk about this real quick, man. Coming into tonight's event, 4th in the points. Talking about the last couple of races that you had, you're the man on the mission, man on the move here. You're one of the comers for tonight's broadcast. You had an 8th place finish and a 9th place finish the last 2 weeks, and here you are tonight sneaking a win. Are we talking championship, or is it still too early, Jett?
It's way early. Glad, awesome to get a win. I didn't really think I could get one maybe on the plate tracks or something like this kind of happened, but I ran really good this race, thought. Kind of started working my way up there, but just had to be consistent and you know, maybe the championship. The win helps really to hopefully get me into the chase, and just really ecstatic.
First win for his season. Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Barbell Racing. Burn them down, Rich. Celebrate the win here tonight. Your first top 5 with the win. Coming to Rich Jet in the 36 machine. The red and white, good-looking Chevrolet. Burn them down on the racetrack. When we come back, second place, third place. It's exciting here at Martinsville Speedway. Coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, when we got 1 car on the bottom, the 10 cars.
Welcome back to ETV's live coverage, the post-race show here at Martinsville Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, where C.J. LeVere turned it into despair and took out Lenza right there in the final turn. But I tell you, coming down into the caution and turn where Ben Burnett and the man Rich Jet would just be separated by a nose hair, it looks like Jet would have the youngster but a longer nose hair than Ben Burnett would. And Dakota, who's standing by with a happy second-place finisher, Ben Burnett himself.
Well, I don't know if it's happy, but I know it's a second-place finish. Ben, I almost think you almost thought you had it. We almost thought you had it. You were so close. You were so fast all day long. Mishap on pit road will put you in the back, I believe, because you sustained a little bit of damage in a wreck, and you were able to bring it home second. Almost won the race. What was that closing lap for you like before the caution came out?
Pure joy. For just a split second until it told me to let Rich by, or Rich. Yeah, I thought I had it. I drove it hard those last few laps trying to make up the ground that I lost on pit road. Stupid mistake, driver's fault. That's all I can say about that.
And even with that mistake, you were still able to finish second. I mean, you think that was a pretty good rebound on your end?
Definitely. I needed a real good points day to get back up in the points. I've had just about every race this season, I've had bad luck. Try to be smart, be patient, and end up getting caught up in somebody else's mess. And tonight, I come into Martinsville knowing that I had a shot at winning this race, and I was going to do everything I possibly could to win it. And apparently, the one thing to lose it.
And Ben, man, there's still so much racing left to be done throughout the season. And you think you can sneak away with a win somewhere?
Oh yeah. We've got a few more tracks coming up that are good tracks for me. I hope we come back to Martinsville, because this will definitely be a win next time. Because you can bet I will not speed on pit road ever again. But Texas is a pretty good track for me sometimes. Just depends on what tire Goodyear gives us. But you never know. I ain't giving up. As y'all can see tonight, I'm not one to give up too easily.
All right, Ben, and any shout-outs you'd like to throw out there?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank God. I want to thank ETV Live for all their support, Hippie's Paint Shop, and Sweeper One Carpet Cleaning out of Mooresville, North Carolina, and my team. They've been with me through the whole thing, kept me up when I had bad races. Thank my girlfriend. She watches every Monday night, and she gives me that extra boost I need. Thanks, babe.
Well, there you have it from your second place finisher here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. You're going to go ahead and pass it down to Michael Keaton, who's with Jose Gonzalez, your third place finisher. Where did he come from?
Absolutely. I tell you, Jose Gonzalez coming from no man's land to pick up a podium place finisher tonight. The young 40-year-old out of Puerto Rico. Jose, man, I tell you, did you really think you were going to finish third here at the end?
Absolutely not. This is the most undeserving third place in the history of third places.
Well, I'll tell you, anything's got to be better than 32nd 2 weeks ago at Kentucky, Jose. I tell you, the season has been an up and down rodeo for you, but can this be the turnaround point? As Ben Burnett mentioned, we go to Texas next week, one of those stronger tracks for you. Is this one of the upswings for you and your team?
Well, yeah. This Monday Night Series, the Full Throttle Cup, has been very, very unlucky for me. So I was basically trying to get, out of trouble. I didn't race anybody. I don't remember passing anybody tonight. I just I need to get to the top 33 so I don't have to qualify. I missed 2 races already. There's only 8 spots to qualify in, and it's just one lap that decides whether you're in this race or not. So I'm just trying to get a good, just try to stay clean. I pit like once or twice. I'm just trying to get away from trouble, and that's what last Thursday I got a 3rd place doing the same thing. And I feel bad for Dave and CJ. I don't really saw what happened because I got cars in front of me. I don't see what's going on up there. But it's unfortunate that they have to. I would have been happy with the top 10, man.
And also, too, Jose, you won one of the duels back at Daytona at the beginning of the season. Got credit for that win under your belt there. And looking at the stats, you're 2 races off from everyone else. But at the same time, you're sitting there with 2 top 5s and somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 top 10s so far this season. So it's not like you can't come back. Yeah, like John says, pass the tequila, man, and get on with it.
Well, I would pass. I want somebody to pass me the Don Q. That's what I need.
The rums of Puerto Rico. I tell you, Jose, go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. The few races I've been here, I know I'm running good. Thanks to my teammates, they forced me to get a good wheel because I've been racing one of those old crappy wheels, and since I got this G27, now I'm running good. I used to be nowhere near the top when I raced the short tracks. I've always been good in the cookie cutters, but since I got my new wheels, my new pedals, now I guess it shows. I'm right here. I'm loving it.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Jose, you mentioned some of the teammates there. Who would you like to thank for tonight?
Oh yeah, Hippie's Paint Shop, Doug Wyatt. I want to thank him for letting me in the team this year. Our team is very together, and we get along real great, and we race each other clean but hard. And I'm happy to be part of it. Fearless Racing, and my girlfriend, she came a couple of days ago from Texas, and she lets me drive. allows me the time for this.
Absolutely. And there you have it, folks. A man who finished third and hopefully on the upswing of things, the 26 out of Puerto Rico, Jose Gonzalez. Just want to point out, too, John Abbott, that's fifth in points coming into tonight's race, finished fourth. And Wyatt Wolf Jr. and John Hanna Jr., great placements for them. Wyatt Wolf Jr. would finish fifth. John Hanna Jr. would finish sixth. Hopefully, they're on the upside of things. And the man who sits second in points has gained a little bit, but he has not gained the lead from Dwayne Vincent, who would finish 32nd, but Cole would finish 7th and just gain ever so edger closely to rounding out that number 1 spot in the points battle here with Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Joining me again in the booth tonight was Dakota Ehrman, down on pit road Joshua Harbison, George Wood, and John Westling. For us at ETV, we'll see you next Monday night, 9:30.